What's good, everybody? This is Kenny C here, and you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio Live on Ustream.tv. Today's date is Thursday, April the 18th, 2013. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Before I get into what's on tap for tonight's show, I want to take this time and send my condolences to all those that were affected by the Boston Marathon bombings this past Monday afternoon. I believe it's about over 170 people got injured, and about 3 people have lost their lives. Um, it's a very tragic situation, and it's it's a sad. It was a dark day in Boston, Massachusetts. This country has been knocked down, but it finds its way to get back up. And I truly believe that. And I'm not going to go on and on about it. I just want to say that, my thoughts and prayers goes out to those that were affected, especially that child who lost his life. Tell your loved ones, tell your family members that you love them. Give them a hug, give them a kiss, tell them that you love them. Family, friends, relatives, just let them know that you love them. Life is too short, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll do the best I can to go on with this show as planned and as scheduled. Tonight on the show, I will be recapping SmackDown, Raw, Main Event, and Impact, plus this day in wrestling history. I want to thank once again Andrew Palmer, Paris Kelly, Casey Carlisle, the NWA Women's Champion, and Ada Marie for calling in on the 2-year anniversary show last week. If you notice, 3 of the last 4 shows have been pretty near 2 hours long. But tonight, we're going to be probably about almost an hour and a half long. My special guest of the evening, her name is Devin Nicole, indie pro wrestler from Atlanta, Georgia. She's currently at a wrestling show as we speak, so she is unable to call in at the 10:30 p.m. time slot. So she'll be calling in at 11 p.m. She's also going to be making her Magnificent Ladies Wrestling debut this coming weekend. So she's off to a busy start in her wrestling filled weekend. And have you not seen the lineup of the May tapings? Over a dozen of them are former Triple Threat Wrestling Radio guests. I wish I had the list in front of me. And since I got time to spare, let me see. I'm going to go to the website right now. You know what? I'll give you the list. I'm going to give you the list of what's going on. Who is scheduled to be at Magnificent Ladies Wrestling on May the 18th. Just waiting for it to load here. And I know I may already mention this, but we got this day in wrestling history as well. So I can assure you that starting next week will be at least an hour long. Because we've gone through the milestones, we've gone through all that stuff, and we just have to celebrate. We celebrate a couple of things, and the celebrations are pretty much over. So, so it's back to 1 hour. for now. You know what? Let's go ahead and recap. Let's go ahead and recap SmackDown of last Friday night. And it was the SmackDown after WrestleMania. Dolph Ziggler spoke for the first time since becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion. And, you know, when you talk about Dolph Ziggler, obviously people bring up he was part of Spirit Squad. And then he was that guy that introduced himself like 100,000 times. Then he was in he went for being in a relationship with Vic Guerrero. Now, you know, business partners with Vicky, won the World Heavyweight Champion on a silver platter. Edge got fired, and then about a week later, he gets the title back, and Dolph Ziggler, you know, he come a long way. It's definitely come a long way. So Ziggler spoke. Biggie Langston was there. AJ was there. Gets interrupted by Jack Swagger. Now remember, it was Jack Swagger, former tag team partner, did dirty work for Del Rio. He not only he did the dirty work in weeks leading up to that Monday night, but he also pretty much did some damage on that ankle. And the West, as I say, was history. It will go down as one of the most memorable moments of WWE in 2013. No doubt about it. And it came on the night after WrestleMania. Also gets interrupted by Del Rio. Del Rio congratulate the dude, and Del Rio's no stranger of cashing in the briefcase himself. He did it, I believe, 2 years ago. SummerSlam, he cashed it in on CM Punk, become the WWE champion. Punk wins the title back a few months later. So, it's pretty clear Swagger wants his title opportunity. You know, mostly Zeb Colt was doing the talking. And now Del Rio, him being the former champion, he wants the rematch clause. Then you had Team Hell No defeated Primetime Players. Team Hell No just continues to be on the same page. And it was a busy night for Team Hell No. Not only did they beat Primetime Players, but check this out. Triple H speaks for the first time since beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And he had a brace on, obviously, still recovering. And then of all people, he gets interrupted by 3MB. They want to make a name for themselves. And then comes the Shield. Now here's Triple H thinking that there's going to be a 6-on-1 beating, but the Shield don't take too kind of 3MB trying to do their own job. They want to do the one doing the power bombing and spearing and the upper advantage beatdowns. And before they can get their hands on the game, out comes Team Hell No. And just like with The Undertaker a few days prior, the Shield retreated. So apparently there's some unfinished business between the Shield and Team Hell No. Remember, Team Hell No have been victims of the Shield, and they lost to the Shield alongside with Ryback at TLC December of last year. Ray Barrett goes in to defeat Santino Marella. Randy Orton and Sheamus beats the Big Show. And Sheamus is backstage, gets attacked by Mark Henry. So with Ryback focusing on Cena, that rivalry is pretty much over. So with Big Show and Orton and Sheamus and now Henry, oh, things get interesting there. You got Tamina Snuka and the Bella Twins defeated Caitlyn and the Funkadactyls, and one of the Bella Twins get an untitled win on Caitlyn. Kofi Kingston with an untitled win over Antonio Cesaro, the U.S. champion. Fandango, fresh off of the crowd humming his theme song at Jersey. That other crowd, you know, if you thought the Jersey crowd was crazy, wait till WWE heads to England next week. That crowd, I would say, outside of America, that's the best crowd I've ever heard on television. WWE is overseas right now, and they're going to be overseas for the next coming week. They're going to have all the shows, Raw, SmackDown, Main Event, Superstars, and Main Event, and SmackDown, all will be taped at England. So that should be interesting itself. The main event turned out to be Dolph Ziggler versus Chris Jericho, and thanks to the interference of Fandango and Big E and AJ, Dolph Ziggler picks up the victory. And oh, by the way, as friction continues between Teddy Long and the Hall of Famer himself, Booker T. It's only a matter of time before Teddy Long's on the brink of being a heel. He's been put to the side long enough. He done lost his GM job to John Laurinaitis at WrestleMania last year, and then this guy's come a long way trying to get some sort of power back. Let's face it, Teddy Long is kind of like Brad Maddox to Vicky Guerrero. And Teddy Long, he's not going to be no second fiddle for long. Let me assure you on that. That will conclude my SmackDown recap. Now, on to the Monday Night Raw recap. We kick things off with a rematch from this past Friday on SmackDown with the same result. Randy Orton and Sheamus defeated the Big Show. How about the 3MB calling out the Shield after what happened between the 6 of them last week? But they don't get the Shield. They end up getting Brock Lesnar. And Lesnar single-handedly crushed all 3 of them. Brock Lesnar is a powerful dude, but I didn't think he had quickness to him. Did you see how Heath Slater was trying to make that turn, trying to avoid, and look how quickly Brock Lesnar got out of the ring and clotheslined Heath Slater. And then he put not one but 2 F5s on, I think it was Drew McIntyre, right on top of the barricade, right near the ring announcer, near the ring announcer and the bell ring thingy. I mean, it was a abomination. It was a 3B abomination. And then Paul Heyman fails. Okay, Triple H, we got you at SummerSlam. You got us at WrestleMania. Let's go for the tiebreaker. So he proposed that these 2 men, Triple H and Brock Lesnar, go at it one more time. Or people, my type of people say, one more again. but to, be articulate and intellectual. One more time, Brock Lesnar versus Triple H. This time at next month's pay-per-view, Extreme Rules, and this time inside a steel cage. We should expect a response by Triple H from across the pond next Monday on Raw. And since Raw's going to be taped, I'm not even going to bother being on my Twitter account. That's part of the thing that people don't like about wrestling nowadays is that social media, dirt sheets. It's like everybody want to post spoilers before it gets telecast. I mean, it happens. It comes with the territory. So I'm stepping away from Twitter. Now, I will be on my Facebook account because I got a variety of friends, but I think I got more non-wrestling friends than actual wrestling friends, so I shouldn't see a lot of spoilers here and there. And what makes it very odd is that I barely tweet. I don't tweet doing WWE shows, but I do tweet doing Impact because this show is coming up after Impact if you're living on the East Coast. I usually tweet for 8 to 9 Eastern. After that, I switch to C Broadcasting, tweet over there, get myself prepared for this show. So we should expect Triple H and Brock Lesnar. Triple H will make his decision next week. Make that match official. Ryback spoke for the first time since his attack on John Cena. Some say it's facts. Some say his exclamation was just filled with excuses. Man, the Shield beat so many people up that I lose count how many times they attacked Ryback. I thought it was 10. They tell you the truth, but Ryback said it was 6 times he's been attacked. And during that time, John Cena was recovering from an arm injury, and he just expected the warm-arm guy to help him out. I mean, come on. This is the same dude that gave you his WWE title spot at Hell in a Cell this past October. Now, that was when the Shield made their WWE debut and attacked you. So, since Hell in a Cell, well, wait a minute, it was, you know what, I take that back. Let me clarify that. It was Survivor Series that made their debut, doing a triple threat match, Punk, Cena, Ryback. So, since Survivor Series, Ryback has been attacked by the Shield 6 times. And the Shield even cost Ryback the WWE title not once but twice. So he went on and on and on about it. And pretty much he just felt Cena's been leaving him high and dry for way too long. So last Monday night, he was like, enough is enough. I'm going to take a stand. And that's what he did. That's exactly what he did. Speaking of people speaking for the first time since a certain incident or match, CM Punk was on the mic speaking for the first time since he spoke for the first time since he lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Now, this guy calls himself the voice of the voiceless. Well, let's just say that he started off with a voice, but ended up being voiceless. He talked a bit, I mean, where does CM Punk go from here? Let's look how his 2013 year has fared out thus far. His WWE title reign comes to an end by The Rock. He loses the rematch. He loses the rematch at Elimination Chamber to The Rock. Oh, and he lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania. You've lost to two men from the Attitude Era. Fresh off of losing the WWE title that you held for 434 days. As the crowd was giving a mixed reaction, you got half the crowd chanting Undertaker, the other half is chanting CM Punk. CM Punk dropped the mic and just left. Paul Heyman was stunned. So now the question is, what does the future holds for CM Punk? Is he gonna be a good guy again, or is or is it just CM Punk's way of trying to get himself out there? I mean, how do you go from 434 title reign to losing to The Rock twice to losing to The Undertaker? I mean, who do you face from there in 2013 going forward? You're beating everybody else. You're beating Cena. You're beating Bryan. You're beating Kane. You're beating Jericho. You beat Ziggler. You beat Del Rio. I mean, you're pretty much beating almost every person on the roster that's a former WWE or World Heavyweight champion. I mean, where do you go from here if you see CM Punk? There are reports that he's not even overseas with the WWE right now. Now, he's pretty much going to take the week off. One thing for sure, CM Punk is up to something. I just can't figure out what that is, to tell you the truth. Only CM Punk knows in his twisted mind, but we'll see. Extreme Rules. Now, is he going to be a part of the pay-per-view? If so, who will his opponent be or opponents? I mean, how do you go from Undertaker and The Rock and The Undertaker to just people that you've already have feuds with and beaten stuff? I mean, where do you go from there? Should be interesting. A title changed hands this past Monday night. Kofi Kingston defeated Antonio Cesaro in a non-title match this past Friday on SmackDown, and he beat him again. Only this time, the title was on the line. For the third time in his WWE career, Kofi Kingston is the United States champion. Now, what's got people like, what? Is when he was like, I'm bringing the United States title back to America. Now, maybe this is just his character, or I don't know. But ain't he born in Africa? I know he lives in America currently, but ain't he originally from Africa? I'm just saying. And this is what makes people mad, man, is that Kofi Kingston is a talented dude. He wins all these titles, the U.S. title, the Intercontinental title, the tag team titles. But he's not going to be near that WWE title. He's not going to be near that WWE title. He's not going to be near that World Heavyweight title. You know what Kofi Kingston has turned into? He's turned into Shelton Benjamin. Remember Shelton Benjamin? The gold standard. 1/3 of Team Angle. He's now wrestling for Ring of Honor. If memory serves me correctly. I think he's in Japan last time I heard. Shelton Benjamin was a talented wrestler. He just like Kofi, he's won those exact same titles multiple times. He even won the ECW title. But I'm sure ECW purists will not count that as the real ECW title, considering ECW was a brand for WWE at the time. But he did win that title. Now it's like, where do you go from here? Kofi Kingston has been with the WWE for 6 years. Or pretty much almost 7 years. He ended a 200-day plus title reign of Antonio Cesaro. He's won the title reign. Remember, he lost the Intercontinental title to Wade Barrett, I believe, on the last Raw of 2012. Here he is. And this dude did not even have a match scheduled at WrestleMania. Now, Cesaro's going to get his rematch at some point. Maybe next week, maybe Extreme Rules. But all I know is Kofi Kingston deserves a heck of a lot better than what he's already gotten. He is a talented performer. But it's like WWE's just got him stuck at a place and they want to keep him there. Now, I get it. You got Cena. You got Punk. You got Del Rio. You got Show, Orton, Sheamus. You kind of make him feel like he's a second-tier wrestler. Dude has first-tier talent, but he's getting second-tier storylines and things like that. And every now and then he be jobbing and stuff too. Kofi Kingston deserves a heck of a lot better. He truly does, ladies and gentlemen. A rematch from this past Friday, and just like that, same result. Team Hell No defeated Primetime Players. Forget millions in dollars. Can y'all get a win over the tag team champions, who are now the current longest winning champions of the WWE right now? They've been champions since Night of Champions, September of last year. They got the longest title reign in the WWE right now. And I think they closing in on 200 days. If they're not at 200 days, then they are pretty close. Oh, how about this? Dolph Ziggler was on the mic again. Gets interrupted by Del Rio. Del Rio wanted to invoke his rematch clause, but that never happened due to the interference of Jack Swagger. Now, thanks to Teddy Long put Swagger in the match against Dolph Ziggler without the approval for Booker T. And all of a sudden, Jack Swagger defeats his former tag team partner. So because of that, that puts him in line for a future title opportunity. Booker T is aware of it, not pleased. So he's gotta make sure that everyone gets what they want. Fandango was joking around with the crowd. He was trying to get them to pronounce his name. There was some hummings, but the humming wasn't as loud. It wasn't as energetic the way the New Jersey was, but it's pretty clear. And since then, from my understanding, Fandango's theme song has now become a ringtone, and it's moving up the ranks of the iTunes pop charts. Yes, I said it. Fandango's theme song since last week is moving up the pop charts. Unbelievable. First, Zack Ryder's Holski song, and now Fandango's theme song. But the difference is That song, 15 Minutes of Fame, is up, but it appears that Fandangoing, a craze, is just only getting started. Now, New Jersey crowd was into it. Just wait till Fandango hits to England. Watch how the reaction he's going to get from the crowd. And this is Fandango's first time overseas, so if you thought the American crowd was interesting, wait till he goes overseas. Wait till he gets the reaction. Great Khali teamed up with Santino to take on World Scholars. In the end, the World Scholars had an educated beat of victory on Khali and Santino. Remember, Divas match, Nikki Bella versus Caitlyn, and for the first time since they came back, they end up doing the Bella switch. Brie Bella gets the pinfall. Nikki is credited with the victory, even though it was Brie that got the pinfall. So I guess that technically puts Nikki in line for the Divas Championship, even though it was Brie that get the pinfall. So there you go on that. And before Raw went off the air, Cena confronted Ryback face to face. Then came the Shield. Ryback left the ring before the Shield got near the ring. And Cena, being Cena, the fighter that he is, he wasn't going to back down. And let's just say Ryback decided to give John Cena a dose of his own medicine. He gets 3-on-1 beatdown. He also, Ryback just sat there and left Cena hanging. So it looks like Ryback will be facing John Cena for the WWE title at Extreme Rules. That's what it looks like it's heading. That what appears that is going to happen. That's what's going to go down. I'm like, what? This is going to be Ryback's third, or technically his fourth opportunity of the WWE title. Only this time he faces John Cena. Oh, and getting a load of this, Undertaker fans. It looks like y'all don't have to wait until next year's WrestleMania to see him compete. Because not only is Undertaker going to be across the pond next week, but he's going to be in action. So we're going to have ourselves a whatchamacallit, Brothers of Destruction / Team Hell No versus The Shield. For the first time in 3 years, The Undertaker competes on Monday Night Raw. Now, when was the last time that Undertaker competed in London? That's more than 3 years. I definitely believe. And after Team Hell No coming to the rescue, rescuing Undertaker and Triple H last week, Shield has a chance to bring justice to the Brothers of Destruction, Team Hell No. So I guess Undertaker's going to have it's going to be Team Hell No and The Undertaker. That's what it appears going to be labeled as. I mean, there'll be some Brothers of Destruction references, but it's going to be looked at as The Shield versus Team Hell No and The Undertaker. So, Undertaker back in action on Monday Night Raw next week. So I guess the American people going to have to wait till next year. But people from across the pond, Been waiting for years. Don't have to wait any longer. Mick Foley released his new DVD entitled Life and For All Mankind, The Life and Career of Mick Foley. Took an in-depth look into his Hall of Fame career coming from Long Island, New York. You know, and in the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, he talked about being in the audience of Jimmy Fly's Snooker in 1983. And now Mick Foley gets to reminisce, get to look back, get to reflect on all three faces. The happy player, dude love, the hardcore enigma that is Cactus Jack, and the psychotic Mankind. Now, obviously, of all three characters, I believe Mankind was probably the more successful Foley. That Foley won the WWE title 3 times, if memory serves me correctly. Now, maybe, Dude Love won the tag team titles. And Captain Jack, maybe he won the hardcore title. But Mankind was the more successful Foley. That Foley formed Rock and Sock Connection. That Foley was thrown off the top of the Hell in a Cell, King of the Ring. That Foley had more moments that people look back on. So you can bet those moments will be relived time and time again. It's just one of those moments that people still talk about to this day. Mick Foley, Mrs. Foley, baby boy. What a career he had. It's definitely a must get for all Mick Foley fans. Whether you was a Cactus Jack fan, whether you was a Dude Love fan, whether you was a Mankind fan. And now since his post-wrestling days, he's now focusing on being a comedian. And nobody does a cheap pop better than Mick Foley. You know he's going to get that loud reaction when he mentions a city and state. So he'd be like, right here in New York City. Crowd eats it up. Nobody does a cheap pop. But other than the cheap pops, Foley, he was definitely probably the most versatile personality in the Attitude Era. I mean, he gave you all 3 personalities and then some. Some people would just have the same old character, whether they're good guy or bad guy. Mick Foley switched things up. Got to give the man credit for that. This past Wednesday, yesterday for that matter, was WWE main event. And it kicked off a over-the-top World Battle Royal. The winner will face Ray Barrett for the Intercontinental title later that evening. And featured in that Battle Royal are the Usos, Santino Marella, Justin Gabriel, Primo Epico, Great Khali, Alex Wiley, Yoshitatsu, Jinder Mahal, and Drew McIntyre. In the end, it was Justin Gabriel, former Nexus and Core teammate and NXT compadre, picking up the victory. And he will be challenging Ray Barrett for the Intercontinental title. Now, of course, Ray Barrett lost to R-Truth this past Monday, but he was looking to bounce back from all of that. And that's exactly what he did, ladies and gentlemen. The Barrett Barrage bounced back. That's a lot of B's, but you get the idea. The Barrett Barrage bounced back. Now, before I get into the Impact recap here, here's what I do want to get into. I'm going to take a break from the recap real quick. And now I can let y'all know who's going to be included in the May 18th, 2013 Magnificent Ladies Wrestling tapings. You got Demetria D. Rose, Amber O'Neal. Demetria will be making her magnificent debut. Brittany Wonder making her debut. The Queen of Destruction, Destiny. And good news for her, she's been battling with cancer, but it appears that she is cancer free. Congrats to her on that. The Great Cheyenne, Jessie Bell, Jordan Grace, TNA Knockout Lady Tappa, the lovely Lala Lodge, who's now working for OVW now. Then you got Smoking Hot Nikki Lane. You got Nyla Rose also making her magnificent debut. Making her magnificent return is Sassy Steffi. She was on the 100 show a couple of weeks ago. You can go to magnificentladieswrestling.com for more info. And yes, you heard someone blow a horn for a brief moment there. Remember, Magnificent Ladies Wrestling are having 2 more tapings after April 20th, which is this weekend. They got April, they got that. They also have May 18th, and they have June 22nd, which is 3 days before my birthday. That is their last taping. And after that, that's it. They will retire as a company after June 22nd. But from my understanding, the downloads will be standing for an extended amount of time. So, what a cast that is. So check that out, magnificentladieswrestling.com. And usually I do the This Day in Wrestling History by the end of the show. But because I got Devin Nicole coming up at 11, I'm going to go ahead and get into it right now. This Day in Wrestling History on April the 18th. Check this out. In 2007, WWE serves ties with its developmental territory, Deep South Wrestling. In 2012, on this day, Derek Bateman is crowned unofficial winner of NXT Redemption, despite the fact that it stopped being a competition in late 2011. This was due to him being the only non-eliminated competitor left on the show. In 2004, WWE Backlash was a Raw exclusive event held in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Chris Jericho defeated Christian and Trish Stratus in a handicap match. Victoria defeated Lita to retain the women's title. Randy Orton defeated Cactus Jack in a hardcore match to retain the Intercontinental title. The late Chris Benoit defeats Shawn Michaels and Triple H in the triple threat match to retain the World Heavyweight title. On this day in 2010, TNA Lockdown was held in St. Charles, Missouri. With all lockdown events up to time, all matches were held in a steel cage. The Beautiful People, featuring Madison Wayne and Velvet Sky, defeated Angelina Love and Terror. Madison Wayne scored the pin to retain the Knockout Tag Team titles. Retain the Tag Team titles and win the Knockouts title. Kazarian defeated Shannon Moore and Homicide in a 3-way to win the vacated TNA X Division title. AJ Styles and he defeated D'Angelo De Niro to retain the world title. Team Hogan, which featured the Monster Abyss, Jeff Jarrett, Jeff Hardy, and RVD, defeated Team Flair which features Sting, Desmond Wolfe, James Storm, and Robert Roode in a lethal lockdown team that had Team Hogan lost. Hogan would have been forced to leave TNA. Title changes. The only notable title changes here are, let's see. Okay. In 2005 on SmackDown, Eminem, which featured Jordy Mercury and Johnny Nitro, defeated Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio to win the WWE Tag Team titles. Happy birthdays goes out to Steve LeBarney, who is the current WWE Road Agent and former wrestler known as the Brooklyn Brawler. He turns 52 years old. Three-time NWA Women's Champion Debbie Combs, she turns 54. Also today would have been the birthday of Stampede Tag Team Champion Biff Wellington at the age of 48. The wrestling lost two legends on this day. First, in 1990, of the famed Guerrero family, Gory Guerrero died at the age of 69. And in 2002, decorated NWA star and WCW Hall of Famer Wahoo McDaniel died at the age of 63. And that is all that happened this day in wrestling history on April the 18th. Now, we can get on to what turned out to be a one-sided Aces and Eights portion of Impact. Wes Briscoe and Eric Bischoff defeated Kurt Angle in a handicap match. And then in a X Division title triple threat match, and they debuted the X-Cam, Kenny King defeated Zema Ion and Petey Williams. Kenny King pinned Zema Ion, which means Zema Ion is now eliminated for the X Division title picture. Magnus was supposed to have a TV title match against Devon. That was cut short before it began, getting attacked by the Aces and Eights. Samoa Joe comes to the aid, and he ended up taking his spot. And similar to Samoa Joe, or similar to Magnus, he suffered a multi beatdown as well. And Devon retains the TV title. Also, things got a bit personal in the knockout #1 contender match between Miss Tessmacher and Mickie James. Mickie James, things just got a little pushy there. ODB is apparently now the referee, yet she is still one half of the Knockout Tag Team Champions. And I checked the TNA website, and yep, she's still one half of the Tag Team Champions. But in the end, Mickie James defeated Tessmacher. Now Mickie will be facing Velvet Sky for the Knockout Tag Team title, for the Knockout Championship. Now the #1 contender. Now 2 weeks ago, Velvet Sky suffered a knee injury, and is she going to be anywhere near 100% come next week? I don't know. No, but we'll see come next week. And by looking at how physical Mickie James was towards Tessmacher, something tells me that Mickie James may end up turning heel, perhaps. Is that a sign that she may be on the verge of turning heel? I mean, listen to her song, Somebody's Gonna Pay. That's not a message towards Magnus on the music video. I think that's a message in the Knockout locker room too. Somebody's gonna pay. And what a coincidence. Mickie James coming back from the music video stuff. She's now the number one contender for the Knockouts title. Velvet Sky is the champion. She hurt her knee a couple of weeks ago. She's far from 100%. Suspicions, I know. There was an argument between Bad Influence and the team of Rude and Aries. And then the new tag team champions, Chavo and Hernandez, put an end to all that. And then came the main event. The main event was AJ Styles versus James Storm. Hulk Hogan won a decision on whether he's going to be with Team TNA, it's going to be with Aces and Eights, or he could possibly join Bad Influence. Well, let's just say AJ left people more suspicious. He defeated James Storm by submission. Not only he beat him by submission, folks, but Aces and Eights, not only did they attack Storm, but they attacked Bad Influence as well. And Hogan made it clear he's going to want to confront Hulk Hogan next week. So it was mostly a dominant night for the Aces and Eights as Impact Wrestling went off the air. And I was watching Impact earlier tonight, and I found out that June 15th, TNA is coming to Lexington, Kentucky as part of their Base Brawl tour. They're going to be doing wrestling shows at minor league stadiums. So they're going to be home of the Lexington Legends on June 15th. And not only that, but tickets go on sale tomorrow. And let me be clear on this. I've never attended a Impact Wrestling show before. And this could be my chance to do so. Thinking long and hard. Now, it starts $15 up to $65. That's pretty cheap. As far as the most expensive tickets, that's pretty cheap. If it was a WWE show, which they be at arenas and basketball, arenas, it'll cost $70 or $80, or even $100, whether it's a live show or a pay-per-view. This is $65 just to be in a minor league and a wrestling show at a minor league stadium. I want to go, but I'm not far. I gotta think this through. I've always wanted to go to a TNA Impact show. I've never had an opportunity. I know they've been in Lexington over the last several years as part of their Base Brawl tour. And not only the $65. If you get the $65, you get the meet and greet with the wrestlers just hours before the show itself. So I got to take that as a consideration. I do want to go. And if I do plan to go, that's on a Saturday. Which means I will have to cancel chilling with Jeff and Kenny C on that particular night. And that's fine by me. I canceled 2 chillings because of wrestling shows. I canceled, well, not a wrestling show per se. January, I canceled a chilling show so I can go to Harlem Globetrotters basketball game. February, I canceled a chilling show so I can go to Ohio Valley Wrestling show at Frankfurt. But I was with TTW Radio at the time. That show is on TMV Cafe. So this show is still on Ustream for the time being. This is a temporary situation. So I got a lot to think about. But we are in the month of April still. So I got some time to think this through. I definitely want to go. But if I'm gonna make a decision, I better make a decision. I better make a decision. I better not wait until mid-May or whatever, because like any other show, those meet and greet tickets, they're gonna sell out real quick. So I really need to keep that in mind. I'll definitely go if I'm able to get a meet and greet. $65, that's not bad. Well, 65 plus tax, but 67, 68, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. It is a quiet Thursday night. Impact is off the air, and it's about to be on the East Coast right now. On the West Coast, excuse me. Not only that, I'm probably going to be off the air at 11:15, 11:20-ish. Got to work in the morning. So, hopefully this will give me time to record not to record, but to edit the interview. To edit the interview per se, and to, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, to edit the interview and have it on YouTube before I go to bed. So next week, I'll be joined with Nick Grimes from Southern Premier Wrestling. So we'll talk to Nick next week and update on the month of May. May the 2nd, I'll be joined with Zach Connor. He's a contestant for TNA Gut Check. May the 9th, I'll be joined with Ali Parker, indie pro wrestler for the West Coast. And the 16th, now confirmed, I'll be joined with Fozo Fury. I see him wrestle PTW, WCCW, and UWF here in the Kentucky areas. So be on the lookout for that. And I believe Fozo will be at UWF this Sunday. He's going to be in the Commonwealth. So UWF, they got a new championship from my understanding. They are building a Commonwealth Championship tournament. Now, I have not been to a UWF show since February. And that was when the Vixen show took place. And that's mostly because I got to work on Sundays. Hopefully, that will change. Because I'm on a hunt for a new job. Just want to put it out there. Devin Nicole should be calling in momentarily. Usually we go off the air 10 to 11. It's now 11 o'clock here on the East Coast. Let me check my Facebook. Devin, the reason that she's unable to call in at 10:30 is because she has a wrestling show to be a part of. The wrestling show, from my understanding, should be over by now, and she will be calling in momentarily. So I'm going to stay on the air until 11:20 Eastern Standard Time. And I pretty much have recapped all that I need to recap on tonight's show. And I wish I had more wrestling news at the moment, but apparently I don't. So I will keep rambling on. I definitely have heard that WWE, they have the 2013 Hall of Fame induction ceremony available on demand until the 19th of April, which is tomorrow. WWE.com, Google Play, and some other websites. You know what? $7.99 sounds nice, but I'm gonna wait until the DVD comes out, the WrestleMania DVD. This is the first time that you get a chance to watch the Hall of Fame induction ceremony in its entirety on demand. Keep that in mind. They don't they don't not only they do not let you they don't show the whole thing on USA Network. They only give you highlights of it when you watch it on WrestleMania, and then they recap it on Raw and SmackDown stuff. So usually you gotta wait, but for the first time, it's available on demand. And if you so you only got 57, you only got 57 more minutes to watch it on demand. So clock is ticking. Clock is ticking. I'm definitely looking forward to the WrestleMania on DVD. I'm trying to get into Facebook here. See if Devin maybe messaged me or something. Let's see here. I'm reading her Facebook status right now. Gotta love it. Reading people's statuses on the air. Woohoo! The last time she posted was 57 minutes ago. Another great show, so much fun, title change, new moves debut, dodge flips. We do it all for WWA 4. And I did read down that she did promote her interview. She did promote it. And not only is she a wrestler, but she's the general manager. So, homegirl's multitasking. So, let me try this, because usually when people forget, I may need to do this. Let me try this. The show that she was a part of should have ended by now. Hopefully she gets the latest message I sent her. You are now listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio Overtime right here on Ustream.tv. Oh, now she gets the message because she's calling in right now. Hello and welcome to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
Hi,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing real good. Thank you for joining me on the show this evening.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I heard that you just finished a wrestling show a little bit earlier this evening. How did that go?
It was a lot of fun as usual. There were some title changes, a lot of drama happening in the storyline, a whole lot of fun.
And from my understanding, not only are you wrestling for this company, which is WWA 4, but you're also the general manager. Talk about this company and your involvement with them.
Um, I am the GM of WWA4. The school has been around for many years. A lot of great wrestlers have come through and trained and went on to bigger ventures. The trainer there is Mr. Hughes, Total Protection. He has wrestled with WCW, WWF, WWE, and I believe also ECW. It's a great to be a lot of talent.
And for people that's in the Georgia area wants to check it out, why don't you tell them like the day and the time, bell time, stuff like that, so people can check it out. Or when can they check out the show?
It's every Thursday evening. The bell time is 8 o'clock sharp. It's off of Fulton Industrial. The address is on the school's website, www.wwa4.com. And we love to see new faces all the time.
All right, everybody, check that out. WWA4 Thursday nights. It's not often that you check that there is an indie show on Thursday nights. I mean, at least from my understanding, from the shows I go to, they on the weekends. But at least there's a show out there that people can go to get your weekend started right. So go check that out. I hear that in addition to the your activities, not only wrestling and being a GM for them, I'm hearing you're going to be making your Magnificent Ladies Wrestling debut this coming weekend. How are you feeling about debuting there this weekend?
I'm very excited because at my school, there are no other females for me to work, so I always have to work and train with the men. So it's going to be a new experience working with women for the first time, but I'm looking forward to it. A lot of vets, female vets in the business, come through there, so I'm going to pick their brains, get all the knowledge I can, and learn as much as I can.
Now, did they contacted you about this opportunity, or did you reach out to them? How did that came about?
Yeah, I was on Facebook one day and I had an inbox message from them, asking me how long I'd been training and if I was interested in coming out. And it kind of just went from there. This was back, I believe, in February.
Awesome. And I've been paying attention to their website for a couple of years now. They've been very supportive of this show, and there was a person I've interviewed in the past. Her name is Nikki Lane, and I heard y'all
Oh,
two.
don't say that name. Oh,
I heard y'all two have went at it verbally, and y'all wanted the fans to have a match against each other, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen. There's still a possibility. They got two more tapings left uh, after this weekend. Is there any chance, you know, you want to have a match with her at some point with Nikki Lane?
I definitely want to get my hands on her, but unfortunately, the rules at Magnificent Ladies of Wrestling is that unless a match is ordered, I cannot put my hands on her. So I have to keep my distance until it happens. It's worth the wait, though.
All right. Well, maybe y'all have that opportunity either May or June. They got two more tapings left, so who knows? She's already scheduled to be in May, so maybe y'all two will get that opportunity in June. So we'll definitely wait and see on that. But other than that, other than the Thursday show and the Magnificent Lady Wrestling show, do you have any other upcoming shows that you would like to promote?
I will actually be in Fletcher, North Carolina next month with GWP, that's Global Wrestling Promotions. That is going to be on a Saturday, May 25th. The bell time is at 7 p.m. I can't think of the venue off the top of my head. I believe it's the ANG Center. I could be saying that wrong. I'll send you the flyer after we get off the air. It's going to be a lot of fun. I was looking at the card earlier today and I was like, wow, this is going to be an amazing show. It's going to be 10 matches. You can't go wrong with that.
That is awesome. And you mentioned a little bit earlier that you've been training with men, and obviously this weekend you're going to get a chance to compete with women. When you first got started, uh, the people that you train with, that the men for that matter, did you get the sense that you being a female, take it easy on you, or you just like, treat me like everybody else, don't let up.
Well, at first, of course, they, were a little cautious with me. They didn't know how much I could take, how much pain I could take. things like that. They were concerned about my safety because in this wrestling business, that is number one, your safety and the safety of your opponent. But now I'm taking super kicks and spears and all kinds of things now. They kind of see that I'm pretty tough and I could take it. They're not holding back anymore.
I've seen the YouTube videos on your YouTube channel. It's a lot of fun. It sounds like y'all had a lot of fun
Oh yeah.
training and everything. Who do you consider as influences in your wrestling career?
I would definitely have to say Jazz. Um, I love the way that she worked like a man in the ring. She really showed me that you could be a lady but still represent the way a man would and intimidate and have that strength and that power, as well as Melina, Lita, Trish Stratus. The list goes on and on. Jacqueline, China. Just women that didn't use the fact that they were women as an excuse. They still came in the ring, performed, and gave it all they got and put on a great show just as much as the men. And that's what I intend to do as well.
What do you consider the highlight of your wrestling career? Or it could be like a
Hmm.
storyline or an angle you've had. It could be a championship you've won, a match that stands out to you. What do you consider the highlight of your career thus far?
The highlight of my career so far is actually none of those things. Um, the thing I feel most accomplished about right now is the fact that I'm being taken serious. I do still, get the compliments like, "Oh, you're attractive, you're nice," but a lot of most of the compliments I'm getting now is, "I like the way you work. I like what I'm seeing about you in the ring. I see a bright future ahead of you." That's what means the most to me because in this business, a pretty face can only get you so far. But ultimately, your in-ring talent is what's going to get you that gold around your waist and the money in your pocket and the respect that you want as well.
Obviously, women's wrestling has definitely come a long way. They are more known for their looks. They are very talented athletes. I mean, when you mention, the compliments and things like that, I mean, you're a wrestler, you're an athlete, you want to be looked that way. I mean,
Absolutely.
and the compliments, I mean, it comes with the territory. Like, when you got started in your career, did those compliments kind of like, I mean, you took it for what it is, and did that bother you? Like you want to be looked as a wrestler first and things like that. I mean, anyone wants to be known for their profession, other than everything else. I mean, did those type of compliments, or did it bother you that you was known more from the compliments than your in ring ability?
Well, of course, at first they didn't really have anything to go on as far as in ring because I didn't really have any matches yet, things like that. But it did bother me when they would say things like, "You're too pretty to know how to wrestle." It's like you're not even giving me a chance. You're already counting me out. You're not even giving me the opportunity to show you that I'm serious about this and that I do want to be more than something to look at, in between the men's matches. But I think once people started to really give me a chance and open up to me, I showed them that I am here to do work and that the physical is just something to complement what I'm doing in the ring.
You know, it takes time, but the people, there are some wise, intelligent wrestling fans out there, and then there's the idiots, the morons, and things like that. I mean, regardless of what sport it is, you're always gonna have your wise fans, and you're gonna have those that just you wish that you never see them or whatever. It's just
Right.
it comes with the territory. Um, what do you like the most of being a wrestler? Do you like the traveling, hanging with your peers, interacting with the fans, uh, wrestling in general? What do you like the most of being a wrestler?
The most. It's a tie between several different things. One thing I definitely like is being able to step outside of yourself. You get to be a character. You get to be whoever you want to be. That person that you dreamed, like, I wish I could be this person. You can be that person for a night and really have a lot of fun with it. I also like the traveling. I haven't really been to many places, and I'll see the world, see the country, and I'm going to get an opportunity to do that. And then also, it's just the passion in the locker room. It's unlike anything you ever experienced today. When I was at the show, you just see everybody so hungry for it and putting together their matches, and it's just you have this thing in common, this hunger, this love, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's nice to share that with someone, that somebody understands where you're coming
I seen you posted a picture early this evening, and I think you said, you made you feel like a proud mama. Like, look at these
from.
boys I've been on the road with all these years. It makes me so proud, you know.
um, yeah, these guys, they, you know, I guess being in a ring with someone and really entrusting your life to them, because ultimately that's what you're doing when you're doing these dangerous moves. You're trusting that person to do them safely, to keep you safe and keep you alive, to wrestle another day. So you develop a bond with them. And then I see these people every day, when we train and have the show. So they've become family to me, a different part of my family. And I'm close with them. I'm close with them in different ways. I have different relationships and different reasons why I'm close with each of them. And they're great guys. They're talented. They have different personalities, different quirks about them. And, I have different conversations with them. We just bring something different to each other's lives. And I do love them. They're special to me, even though they, beat me up and make fun of me sometimes. They're like the big brothers I never wanted.
Yeah, it's kind of like that sibling rivalry, the things
Right.
like that. For people that want to get in touch with you, social media wise, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, anything like that, why don't you go ahead and promote your links?
Okay, on Twitter, I am at official Devin, as Devyn. On Facebook, I'm Devin Nicole, DevyNNicole. And also on YouTube, it's official Devin Adams, again, Devyn. And you can check me out there. Hit me up anytime.
Well, Devin, it was great talking to you. Thank you for spending time with me on the show. Just minutes from a sensational show. Um, Thank you for your time. Best of success goes out to you. Everybody, check her out. MagnificentLadiesWrestling.com. She makes her debut this weekend. Check out WWA4 on Thursdays and check out the links and everything. Again, it was great talking to you. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You have a good night.
You do the same.
All right, bye bye. That was my guest of the evening, Devin Nicole. Great talking to her. And that's it for me, Kenny C. I'm done. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We'll be back to 1 hour next week. I will be joined with Nick Grimes next week, recapping SmackDown, Raw, Main Event, and Impact. On that note, I'm Kenny C. I'm your host. I'm out. Chilling with Jeff Kenny C. is on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on tmvcafe.com. Thank you everyone for listening. It's your boy Kenny C. And I'm out. Peace.